Hey guys, and welcome to the video. So today I'd like to answer the question of, can I still lose weight without doing any exercise? So let's get into the video. So the easy answer to that question is yes. And the reason why is that to lose weight, all you need to do is be in a calorie deficit. And that means consuming fewer calories than your body burns, fewer calories than your body needs. So if you're consuming this much and you're burning this much, then there's a shortfall and your body has to make it up by burning fat, so you lose weight. However, if you're consuming this much and only burning this much, then there's no shortfall, so you'll end up not losing weight. So it's all about making what's coming in terms of what you consume less than what goes out in terms of what you burn, in terms of what you use. So if you don't want to do exercise and you're burning less is going out, then you're going to have to consume less as well, because you still need to create that shortfall to create the calorie deficit to lose weight. Right, so I'd just like to clear up a really big misconception now. And this might sound strange, but you don't lose fat by burning fat. You don't lose weight by burning fat. And the reason this is that just because you are using fat does not mean that you are losing fat. To lose weight, to lose fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit, so consuming fewer calories than your body is expending over the period of time that you're measuring it in, usually per day. So yeah, all these things that say, fat burning workouts, like burn the fat, just because you are using fat does not mean that you are losing fat. So your total daily energy expenditure out needs to be more than what you are consuming to lose that weight. Otherwise, yeah, you might use fat during the exercise, but if you are still consuming more than you are expending, then you're just going to put it back on at the end of the day. So it needs to be a net negative balance of fat for you to lose the fat, because otherwise, like I said, it'll just balance out. So fat burning workouts, they're fine, but don't think of them as a fat burning workout. Think of them as an energy burning workout, and it could be anything. It doesn't need to be something that's labeled fat burning, and you don't need to be necessarily burning fat. You could be burning carbs as well, because if you're burning carbs during your workout and you're still consuming fewer calories than your body needs, then your body's going to need to replace that somehow, and it'll get it from fat, and then you end up losing weight. So I'd just like to pose a question now, and that's, what is exercise? What do we consider exercise? And I ask that because, like I said before, if you are reducing your output, then you're going to have to reduce your input as well. If you're expending less, you're going to have to reduce the amount you're consuming to maintain that calorie deficit. And I ask that question because, is there another way that we can increase the amount of energy that we're burning so we can eat more as well? So I'm just going to give you a quick example now of how you can increase your metabolism without going to the gym, without doing exercise, and then compare that to, say, going to the gym 3 times a week as well. And I'm going to use the example of a 70 kilogram woman. So this person, if they went to the gym 3 times in a week and did 2 45-minute treadmill sessions, which would burn around 550 calories each, and 1 weight session, which would be around 200 calories, that would mean that they burnt 1,300 calories over the week in exercise. So now let's think about this without exercise. And as you know, the amount of energy that our bodies need varies greatly with our daily activity and movement. So first of all, let's work out the BMR, the basal metabolic rate of this 70 kilogram woman. So what we do is you take the 70 and multiply it by 22, and that gives us 1,540 calories. But as you know, your BMR is just how many calories you require to lie in bed 24 hours a day doing nothing. So what we actually need to do is multiply this by an activity factor between 1.1 and 2, where 1.1 is someone who just sits down all day doing nothing really, sort of a sedentary job, and doesn't go to the gym. And 2 is someone who has a super manual job and goes to the gym 5 to 7 times per week. So what we do is we take this 1,540 calories, which I calculated already, and then multiply it by one of these numbers. So I've got a few examples here. So if we multiply the 1,540 by an activity factor of 1.2, we get 1,848 calories per day needed, or per week 12,936. If it was 1.3, it would be 2,002 calories needed per day, or per week 14,014. If it was 1.4, it would be 2,156 per day, or per week 15,092. Or if it was 1.5, it would be 2,310 per day, or 16,170 per week. And so you can see, just between an activity factor of 1.2 and 1.5, the required amount of calories to maintain body weight has gone from 1,848 to 2,310. So that's quite a big jump. And then per week, that was 12,936 to 16,170. So a person that has an activity factor, doesn't do much, of 1.2 requires 12,936 calories per week, whereas 1.5 activity factor, they would need 16,170. So that's a difference of 3,234 calories a week. So that's almost enough to lose a pound of body fat in that week without having to actually reduce your food at all, just being more active. So taking this 70 kilogram woman, let's just say that she wasn't very active and she had an activity factor of 1.2, so she burnt 2,156 calories on top of her BMI over the week, and then did the exercise, which was 1,300. That would mean she'd be burning 3,456 calories per week. Now, if we compare that to the same woman that was super active, or middle active actually, so an activity factor of 1.5, her calorie burn on top of her BMR would be 5,390, and that's just being active, that's not doing any exercise. So you can see the difference there between 3,456 and 5,390. So the example of this woman with a low activity plus exercise burned fewer calories than just the example with a higher activity. So what this means is that if you are more active, if you get more movement into your day, then you don't have to do exercise, you don't have to go to the gym to lose weight. But it also means that you don't have to reduce your food as much as if you had a really low activity plus didn't go to the gym, because you're burning a lot through your daily movement, so you can keep the food higher and still lose weight, which is what you want. So just finally, how can we be more active? How can we get more movement into our day? How can we change that activity factor from the 1.2 to say the 1.5 or higher? So the first thing to think about is your job. So most people spend a lot of their daily lives at work. So if you sit down a lot compared to a job that is stood up and moving around, obviously you can't really help that without changing your job, of course. So just think of the small things. So say you're on the phone, stand up and walk around, try and move around every hour or so, go for a small walk. If you need to email something to someone or tell something to someone, maybe take it to them rather than emailing it to them. Just little things like that. Try and be as inefficient as possible. So what I mean by that is waste as much energy as possible. So move around when you can. In your just other parts of your life, try and take up hobbies or activities. Try and just, again, be more efficient. So take more journeys, take the long route, go for a walk at lunchtime, listen to a podcast or music and go for a walk. Use your legs. You just want to be able to be more active. And I always say get a Fitbit or an activity tracker so you know how many steps you're doing. It tells you how many steps you're doing per day. And you can just work towards higher numbers. So it tells you, so you know what you're doing. So if you know you're not doing enough, then you can consciously think about going for a walk just to get the activity up. And that will change your activity factor from a 1.2 to something higher. So that is how you can lose weight without doing exercise, considering your movement and daily activity to try and increase your energy output. So you can still eat quite a lot while you're trying to lose weight. And that's the most sort of the best way to lose weight, being able to eat as much as possible, because you feel good and it makes you stick to your diet a lot better. So I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Like, share and comment as always, and I will see you in the next one.